What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with two reviews. The first one is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Well, the first one that I'm doing, I don't know how they'll be uploaded, but the first one I'm doing is the Beverly Hills Housewives Season 11, the reunion part 4. Thank God it is over. I just don't know why we needed a 4-part reunion, and then I don't know why Potomac is getting a 4-part reunion. Maybe they're just stretching content out. I don't know, because I don't know what's coming up after Beverly. I don't know if there's any there's no housewives on the market right now, right? I mean, I think OC might be coming up pretty soon, and Jersey. And that's about it. And yeah, I don't know. But before we get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, then I'm going to need you guys to do me a big, huge favor and stop taking me out on this date, you guys, and having me pay for it at the end of it. Hit that subscribe button, the like button, the notifications on, share the video, and with that out the way, you guys, without further ado, let us discuss the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Reunion Part 4. Alright, you guys, so before we actually do get into the reunion, I do want to talk about some things that have happened before we even got to this reunion, right? So last week, literally, as I was uploading Beverly Hills' Reunion Part 3, one of the subscribers, Tracy, shout out to Tracy, she had DM'd me, and she DM'd me about three things, the three things that I'm about to talk about today. She DM'd me about, Dorito and her home being burglarized, right? I really do feel bad for Dorito, right? I do feel bad. Her kids were there. PK wasn't there, right? I do feel bad about that. I know that I do see people who are wondering if this could be a potential storyline for her, right? Me personally, I hope not, right? I hope Dorit wouldn't go through these links with her kids being in a home to do that. And it was really odd for me, because if you guys remember in last week's reunion, when Andy was talking to Renna about her dresses, right? And, telling her to move her dresses, and she did, right? So like, wow, that's kind of interesting. So, we're gonna wish, send well thoughts and well wishes to Dorito, even though you guys know I don't care for her, but we're gonna do that. Then the other thing that happened, it actually just happened this week, where Amelia, is she Renna's oldest daughter? I believe so. Amelia had she overdosed. I was like, wow, that's really sad that she overdosed. Prayers up to her. Prayers up to her for that one, right? Like, you don't want to wish any kind of bad will. You don't want to wish bad on anybody. And God, I'm not even gonna say what I was thinking, but I'm pretty sure you guys can guess what I'm thinking about with Renna. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is the announcement of the Real Housewives of Dubai. So right now, when it comes to the Real Housewives of Dubai, I do know that they've cast. Andy did say that, I think it was yesterday, because when he announced it, he hadn't said anything, but I think he was on Kelly and Ryan, and he did say that they have already cast for Dubai. I'm pretty positive they've already been. I'm pretty sure they're probably, if they're not filming now, they're either, if they're not currently filming or close to wrapping up, they're somewhere in the filming process. Because for them to announce it like that and it's coming in 2022, they've already cast, and I think they've already cast. I'm pretty sure they're getting ready to film, or they're probably halfway through filming. And I know that people have, talked about some of the potential cast members of the Real Housewives of Dubai. Okay, I like what I saw for the potential cast, right? The one thing I will say, say to this cast of Dubai, to the Dubai cast, make sure you guys have all your affairs in order. That's all I gotta say. Make sure if you scamming people, you stop it and you rectify the situation now. Make sure if you got tax issues, you get on the payment plan. Make sure if you got any kind of legal issues, get it squared away. That's all I got to say to the Dubai Housewives. Because if not, you'll be looking like Jen Shaw. You'll be looking like Erica Girardi. You'll be looking like, hell, even Phaedra Parks had her issues. You'll be looking like Phaedra. You'll be looking like Teresa Giudice, whichever one it is. Now, with that out the way, you guys, we're definitely going to go ahead and get into Beverly Hills Reunion Part 4. I'm still thoroughly confused as to why we had 4 parts to this reunion. Parts 1 was okay. 2 and 3, No, part 4, this one pissed me off, and I'm gonna tell you guys why it pissed me off, right? But thank God it is over. So we pick up with Erica. And here's the one thing that I want to say about Erica. Erica is very, very feisty when it comes to the women. Because we pick up where we left off. You guys remember in the last part of the reunion, Crystal was saying, is she angry at Tom? I'm very angry at Tom. Like, she's feisty, she's aggressive. Like, she's hot, she's very aggressive. Like, chill. And even Andy had to say, you just bit Crystal's head off. Crystal was asking you, are you mad at Tom? Like, she didn't question how mad you were. She just said, are you mad at Tom? Of course I'm mad at Tom. All these lawsuits that are coming at me. Oh, God. Okay. So Andy did ask her, why does she lash out? And she said she's furious. Now, that part I do get, right? I do get it. She's upset and she's angry, but these are supposed to be your friends. So if your friends are just asking you questions, you shouldn't get mad at your friends. But hey, she is. Why? I don't know. So then Erica says that she believes that some of the women are against her. And the women that she believes are against her is Kyle and Dorit. And it's more so because of what PK and Mauricio said. Which, what PK and Mauricio said was fact, was truth. Like, you want the man to get surgery on his ankle, but not his brain. Like, he's a lawyer, not a race car driver, not a track star. But okay, but she's so pissed off at this point, right? I don't get it. I'm gonna pause here and we're gonna move forward. All right, guys. So then Andy asked all the ladies, do any of them think that Erica knew what Tom Girardi was doing? And even I've said this on the channel numerous times, and I'm going to continue to say it. I don't think that Erica knew what Tom was doing. But I don't think that Erica was completely oblivious to what Tom was doing, right? She might not have knew the logistics of what Tom was doing, right? She might not have knew, but you probably, at some point in the relationship, you got to kind of be like, you got a lot of money. Where did you get it from? Like, that's the thing. Especially if you come to a big lump sum of money, like, how did you come into that? Like, I'm not saying that she knew anything about his cases, but I'm just like, you never questioned, like, large sums of money. Like, are you racketeering? Are you, a kingpin's lawyer? Are you somebody, like, what are you doing to get this money? That would just be the question that I would have, right? So the ladies thought, they never thought that the divorce was they never thought the divorce was like a sham or whatever. And it was very shocking for them to read the LA Times article. I'm pretty sure it was shocking to read that LA Times article. I noticed this in the reunion. Not once did Andy ever mention the housewife and the hustler. They never mentioned that. And they never mentioned Danielle Staub. I worked with her one time. Girl, you was on Watch What Happens Live with her. Danielle was looking for a moment. So Erica felt, so we then talk about the meeting that the ladies had after they got back from La Quinta, right? And Erica felt that she should have been there. And that one I actually will agree with, that Erica should have been there. But I got the ladies' viewpoint, right? Because the article came out right after Erica left La Quinta, right? And that was literally right after she chewed Garcelle's head off about asking her if she and Tom had communications. So the ladies at this point were just a little bit apprehensive about asking Erica any questions. And I get that. I can actually get both sides, right? So Andy asked Erica, when did she find out that Tom had money issues, right? So he says, was it when you tried to use your credit card or something? She's like, yeah, when I was in New York, I tried to use a credit card and, that's when I found out. I was like, oh. So then Andy asked the ladies, had any of you ladies ever heard anything about Tom having money issues? And Kyle says, I have. He's like, so what did you hear? She says, well, Andy and I both. Oh, I'm like, oh, so you're going to throw Andy on the bus too, huh? So she's like, Andy and I both heard the same. He's like, yeah. And Eric's like, well, what did you hear? And it was from that, oh, God. Now, see, if you know anything about me when it comes to New York, there is one person that everybody wants back on New York. I can't stand her to save my life. Bethany Frankel. I can't stand Bethany. I've never liked Bethany. Never. And I don't think I'm gonna ever like Bethany, especially after that Watch What Happens Live episode where she was imitating the Atlanta. You weave is busted. Like, have you ever heard them say some stuff like that? I'm trying to minimize how much I cuss, you guys, because I don't know if that's what it is why my videos keep getting flagged. I'm just trying to minimize cursing at this point, too. But, so, Bethany is the one that mentioned that Tom had some financial issues. And Bethany said that she found, because they showed the headline of the article. And the article was like she found out from her ex-fiance, Dennis. Or, yeah, her fiance, Dennis, right? Rest in peace to Dennis. Dennis was the best good thing for Bethany. But even with Dennis, I still don't like her. Even with Dennis, I still did not like Bethany. I like Dennis, just not her. So, Andy has a question from a viewer, right? And this question from the viewer was, since Tom has all these these legal issues and no money, how is Erica paying for things, right? She says, well, then you just say a little bit ago that you know how much I make and it's pretty good. I'm like, oh, okay, so now you're being sarcastic. But a few minutes ago, when Andy asked you, how did you move out of your house, out of Tom's house to your new house, you said you can't speak on it, but it was legal. But then here's the thing that I have an issue with, right? So you say that you use your Housewives check to live, right? Nothing's wrong with that. I'm not, that's what you're supposed to do. Live off of live off the money that you make, right? But here's the thing that I'm finna keep going back and forth. I'm going back to what she says. This is why I say Erica does not know how to lie. So Erica, you said last week in part 3 of the reunion that every check you made from this show or any deal that you've had, even Broadway, you gave that money to Tom. How? Just this season alone, this was the first season that you didn't give up your Housewives paycheck? Okay. Go ahead, Erica. So then a viewer asked a question about her. You guys remember when she met up with Kyle and they went on that hike? You guys remember when she started crying and then that mascara started running? So someone asked her, was it intentional for her not to wear makeup, her waterproof mascara that day? Camille Grammer has chimed in on social media. But also, Camille was on Watch What Happens Live with Andy one night after Beverly Hills episode. And she made mention to this. He brought up her tweets. And she didn't back down. And Eric is like, we're not going to talk about someone that's no longer on this show. Okay, whatever. But she says something. Now she was trying to figure out what to say about her waterproof mascara, because she says yes, she doesn't wear a waterproof mascara, but that day it was something with her makeup artist. And Rose, yeah, that's right. You had a different makeup artist that day. Renna, shut up. Renna, we're gonna get into Renna in a little bit. We're gonna get into Renna because I got a lot to say about Renna. I really do. I got a lot to say about Renna. So, they asked that she talked to Tom. She says yes. She just wanted to talk to Tom and see if he was okay. So then Andy says, okay, why did you get so upset with Garcelle when you guys were on camera, mic'd up, talking about the fact that you've had conversations with Tom? We were not on camera. Yes, you were. I remember that episode verbatim. I remember that episode. It was you, it was Crystal, and it was Garcelle. You guys were sitting on rocks. You guys were sitting on the rocks, and you told them that he calls you. So you guys were on camera. Erica, you flat out lied because and I was hoping that the producers would show that footage. But I'm like, why didn't y'all show that? Are y'all afraid of her? Like, a lot of people are afraid of Erica, and I don't know why, right? But Erica says that the reason that she did that with Garcelle is because she don't want people to think that this divorce was a sham. Okay, Erica. Then Erica. This is my life. It's hard. Tom left me with the belt in the bag. You see, today I have on my waterproof mascara. Shut up. Oh God, shut up. I can't. Let's move on. She's trying to get them tears out, and then, see, I have my waterproof mascara on today. Girl, go there. All right, you guys. So next up, we talk about this $20 million that was transferred to whatever her LLC's name is, right? She says that never happened. Okay, whatever. Um, so then Andy's talking about her credit card balance, right? It's reported at 14 million. I'm like, what? Jesus, I would love to know what the interest rate on that is. Like 14. Is that one credit card or is that two? I don't ever want to be, I'm sorry, you guys. I want to be rich, but I don't want to be rich like that. Like, what is your payments every month? Do you have a monthly payment? Or like, what the hell? 14 million? And she says it's $2 million over 12 years. What did you buy? 2 million? You spent $2 million a year on a credit card? Damn. Is it I mean, it's probably a black card, right? But Jesus, first of all, what is the limit on the credit card? You spend $2 million a year. What is the limit? So do you pay it down every year and then just say, oh, hey, it's January 1st of 2022 and let's rack up another 2 million. Dang, I'm sorry. I don't like, see, the thing is with me, my thing is when it comes to credit cards, I have a credit card. I don't like using my credit card, right? I really don't like using my credit card because I feel like if I don't have the money, why am I buying this? I'm using my credit card currently and I really don't want to use my credit card because I'm renting a car so I can drive for Uber. I don't want to, and I was like, I don't want to use my credit card because I'm like, I don't want it to mess up my balance, which it just messed it up this past week. So I'm working hard to try to fix that. But yeah, $2 million, and my credit card is $1,200. I can imagine. Nah, wouldn't be me. So now here's my thing with Erica, right? And Andy made mention to it, but he didn't go deeper into it like I would have preferred him to, right? So we talk about Tom's decline, right? And the fact that, this all happened 3 years ago. But here's my thing. If this happened 3 years ago, that is not any time. That's way past the timeline of these of his victims. Because some of these were at least 10 years ago. So Tom wasn't on this mental decline of, he wasn't on this decline of Alzheimer's or dementia, right? He wasn't on that decline when he was defrauding his clients. So Erica telling those stories didn't help anything. Because you can tell, unless you said, oh, but even still, yeah, what they would have to do is they would have to say, yeah, we noticed it 3 years ago, but but see, even still, I can't even come up with a good lie that a lawyer could use, a defense, 3 years ago, based on what she's saying. But this stuff happened 10 years prior. Some of it, right? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. So Erica says that if she knew, any of this stuff, she wouldn't have made that song. Hell, she wouldn't even came on this show. And I would hope that that's true, right? That's why I said what I said earlier about the Dubai Housewives. If you guys got skeletons in your closet that can get you into legal trouble, don't drop out now. Drop out now. So then Erica asked Sutton, so we talked about, you guys remember in one episode where Sutton was talking about the fact that one of the lawyers that worked at the law firm had left, right? So Erica says, well, if you know something, help me. Like, I'm asking for your help. And she's like, okay, I got you, right? Erica at this point was like really being passive aggressive toward the women. And I didn't like it. And then Renna is full of shit. So she's saying talking behind others' backs don't work. And I'm like, Renna, you can go straight to hell because you've done that for a long time. You talked about these women's back, behind these women's back. Let me think. Let's see where we're going to start up at. We're going to start up with Munchausen's disease when you were talking about Yolanda Foster. Yolanda. What is she? Is she Beth Hadid? Yolanda. When you were talking about Yolanda, then you talked about Kim, and her being close to death to Eden Sassoon, then you, I mean, you were the one who led the charge against Vanderpump. Now, granted, I know that from that book that came out, they're saying that Vanderpump is the one that leaked that Lucy. Oh God, I thought I never wanted. I knew I never wanted to hear that dog's name ever again in my life. I never Lucy Apple Juicy. I never ever wanted to hear, after that season was done with. I never wanted to hear that dog's name again. No offense to the dog, no offense to anybody at Vanderpump Dogs. I just never wanted to hear that dog's name again. Because that story it was so stupid to me. Not stupid what happened with the dog. Who leaked it? All this kind of stuff, right? It was too much for me. But I did watch that season. Then we move over from Vanderpump to last season with Denise. So, you've talked about people, you talk behind people's backs all the time, but now when it comes to Erica, it's, oh my, it's, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, da. Renna is full of it. So, Andy asked Erica and Renna if, she was given a heads up going to that dinner party, right? And Renna says, yes, I did give her a heads up. So, I'm pretty positive Renna filled her in on everything that happened this season, right? So then Garcelle is talking to Sutton, right? And Garcelle asked Sutton if Erica had apologized to her, for what happened at the party. She says, no. And Erica said, what? And Garcelle says, I was just asking her, did you apologize to her for what happened at the party? She says, no, I didn't apologize to her. What am I apologizing for? Because I was defending myself? And Garcelle and Andy both said, you threatened her. Child, and then she started lying, right? Erica says, where is it at? Erica says she wasn't threatening Sutton, right? But Sutton says you said you would come after my family. We're going to talk about that we're going to get into what she said in just a minute. But I'm going to explain to you guys what she said she was doing. So Erica is saying that, she was just basically saying that, if you're on this show any length of time, that things are going to happen, right? Which that is true. That is true. Any housewife who's been on the show any length of time, there's been stories that have come out about them. So that part is true. I give her that. That is true. And she's saying that if something happens to Sutton, she's gonna give Sutton the same grace that she gave her, which was none, right? But then she says, I was coming for you is slang. And Garcelle says, I get that, right? Then she said, but they were like, but it was very scary. She's like, if this was Atlanta or Potomac, this would just be a conversation. Then she said New York. But I was like, why would you mention Atlanta and Potomac, the two black shows, right? Why would you mention Atlanta and Potomac? In that, like, Atlanta and Potomac have never said, I'm coming for you. Now, Kenya Moore has said, don't come for me unless I send for you. But never have any of the ladies on Atlanta or Potomac, and I've been watching both of them. I've been watching Potomac since season 1, and I've been watching Atlanta since season 2. Never once have the ladies said, I'm coming for you, girl. I'm coming for you. The Atlanta and the Potomac ladies, they throw their shade. They don't threaten each. Have they ever? I mean, technically, if you want to say it, Portia has done some stuff, but never had they said, never had they threatened each other's families. That is the one thing that the Atlanta and the Potomac ladies, I will say, families are awful. They never say, I'm coming for you and your family. But even with the Atlanta and the Potomac ladies, they've never been involved in legal issues like this. You know what's so funny? You know what is really, really funny when you think about it? The Black Housewives, or the black shows in general on Bravo, none of them have had legal issues like what Erica has. None of them have had legal issues like Erica, Teresa, and Jen. Now, we know Karen and Ray had their tax issues. Robin's had her tax issues. Robin and Karen have had tax issues. That's about it for Potomac. And we know the stuff between Monique and Candace. And we know the proportion stuff. We know she turned herself in after, the reunion when she pulled Kenya by the hair. But none of them have had, like, court cases against them. I mean, we know the stuff when Angela Stan and Phaedra, but that's gone away. So, yeah, it's very interesting when you think about it. But I'm moving on, you guys. I just didn't like when she said Atlanta and Potomac would just be a conversation. So they tell Erica, they talk about, Erica not liking being called a liar. But Erica, your stories have been inconsistent all season. So she's, and I like the fact that Sutton said that, right? You've been very inconsistent with everything that you've said this season. Nothing that you said has been cohesive. All right, you guys. So we're gonna wrap up. So a viewer hit Reno right word it hurts. Remember, I just told you guys a minute ago that she was talking. I just talked about Yolanda, Kim, and Denise, right? And she's saying that she regrets it. Girl, bye. So then Andy mentions Vanderpump and that damn dog situation once again, and everyone says, What? Like, y'all know what the hell he's talking about. Stop playing with me. But Erica says, well, I'm different than when Vanderpump. Vanderpump left. She didn't answer the questions. I answered the questions, and I'm going to give her that part. Vanderpump did leave. Vanderpump left in the season, and she didn't come to the reunion. I'm going to let you have that one. But you didn't answer any questions. Let's keep it real. You have not answered any real question. You've given your versions of an answer to a question. But girl, go on. So you guys remember when she said that Tom was unconscious for 12 hours? Well, now it's 9 hours. He wasn't really unconscious because she said he called her on his flip. Andy asked her, did you use Find My Phone? She says no because he has a flip phone. I'm like, this is stupid. So we're not going to call her out on this, right? So it went from 12 hours to 9 hours. He was in a ravine. How was he in a ravine and he called you? Was he ejected from... Oh my God. The more you sit and just listen to this, it's stupid. Okay, so he went off the embankment into a ravine. He was down there for 9 hours. How was he not dead? What kind of car does he drive? A mobile an armored truck? Like, are you serious? He went off a cliff. He's in the ravine. So the ravine has running water through it. And if it's high enough, it's getting into the vehicle. And if the car is damaged that badly, but you know what? You know what though? I'm not even gonna sit here and say that that's, but 9 hours. That's where I get lost at. It's the 9 hours. Because I was just about to say, Tiger Woods survived driving off that cliff, but Tiger Woods wasn't down there for hours. Now, if Tiger Woods had been down there for hours, Tiger Woods wouldn't be here with us. But Tom, Tom is immortal. He's immortal. That's all I got to say. But that's the reunion, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the reunion, the season, and we will discuss it in the comments section below. I didn't think this was going to be long, but I think it's long. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video, and until the next one, you guys, I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll see you guys later. Thank God Beverly Hills reunion is over. I don't know what we're going to do on Wednesday nights, because we're done with Beverly Hills. I was going to go back to doing Married at First Sight, but I don't know. Probably not. That season probably almost... Actually, if you guys watch Married at First Sight, tell me how many more episodes are left of it. And I might go back and binge watch what episodes I missed so I can get caught up and we'll talk about it. But that's it, you guys. I'll see you guys for Sisters.